Let's give you guys a round of applause. Let's give you guys a round of applause. Congratulations. You made it to Flawless Fantasy Football Wide Receiver Week. This is episode 1. Hope you guys enjoyed. If it's your first time, press like, subscribe. You're going to get information here that you're not going to get anywhere else on any type of fantasy football platform out there, period. All right? It's going to be raw, uncut. I'm not going to bore you with analytics. I'm just going to tell you the truth, and it is what it is. You know? So, again, welcome to Flawless Fantasy Football, and we're talking about wide receivers all week long. Check it out. I went through, this time last year, I went through 4 to 5 years, previous years. I did it with running backs and with wide receivers. And I took the draft rankings, before the season's draft rankings, and I compared them to the end of the year results. I did this all the way through, maybe back to 2014, 2015. And what I found out with wide receivers, not only just wide receivers, but also with running backs, when you get that, these are the top 12 running back lists, top 12 wide receiver lists, then you get 5 to 6 of them do not end up in the top tier wide receivers in the top 12. That's right. And mind you, it don't matter who list you go off of. You can go off Fantasy Pros, in which that's the list we're going to be using because they got a lot of people that's experts per se, and that come up with their, they come up with their rankings. But it don't matter if this is fantasy footballers. It don't matter who it is, okay? Fantasy headlines, they all pretty much got the same list. And I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But again, welcome. If you get any substance from this video, press like, comment at the bottom, and see if, I want to know if this is making any sense to you. Okay, but for this video, we're just going to go straight to last year, 2021. And here are the draft rankings before the season. And this is how it turned out. You had Devante Adams, number 1, Tyreek Hill, number 2. This is before the season, before the draft, right before the draft. So it's not too early, not too late. Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, C.D. Lamb, and Terry McLaurin. All right? Now, it don't matter if I made the list, guys, okay? Am I going to get all 12 for 12, 11 for 12? Probably not. But one thing about it, I have a better list than most of them. And I'm going to show you how well they did. Mind you, this is the consensus rankings from last year, 2021. Let's go with Devante Adams. Devante Adams, was he a top 12 wide receiver last year? Yes, he was. So he's going to get a green X. He finished number 3. Did well in this little farewell going out party with Aaron Rodgers. Tyreek Hill, did he finish in the top 12 as a wide receiver 1? Yes, he did. Tyreek Hill finished number 6. Mind you, this is half-point PPR, okay? This is half-point PPR. All right, we're going to go with Stephon Diggs. How did he finish? Did he finish as a top 12 wide receiver in 2021 last year's season? Yes, he did. He finished number 7. We're going to get another green X. Doing good so far. Oh, man, they're on the ball, right? Okay. Now we're going to get to DeAndre Hopkins. Did DeAndre Hopkins end up a top 12 wide receiver? No. Not even close. Glassed out. Now here's the deal. I don't care if they glass out, if their quarterback gets hurt, if they freaking get a suspension, if they freaking have a freaking family emergency. I don't care. I only care about, did they finish a wide receiver 1 in the top 12 like the experts said. So by hook or crook, Calvin Ridley, was he a top was a top 12 wide receiver? No. How about Justin Jefferson? Was he? We all know the answer to that. Yes. We're going to put a check mark here for Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson finished as the number 4 wide receiver. Justin Jefferson was balling. A.J. Brown. Did he finish as a top 12 wide receiver? Nope. DK Metcalf, did he? Yes, he did. DK Metcalf finished as the number 12 wide receiver, snuck in. Barely, though. I know, because I had him on one of my teams. It didn't feel like it. Russell Wilson and his stupid finger messed him up. But hey, he would have finished a lot higher. Keenan Allen. Did he finish as a top 12 wide receiver? No, he finished number 14. So guess what? Half-point PPR, you're going to get an X, Mr. Keenan Allen. Allen Robinson, did he finish as a top 12 wide receiver? Absolutely not. CeeDee Lamb, did he finish as one? No, he didn't. And Terry McLaurin, did he finish as a top 12 wide receiver? No. 3 more after that were Robert Woods, Amari Cooper, and Julio Jones. And guess what? Neither one of them ended up being a top 12 wide receiver either. But they were ranked 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, we know who did end up being the top 12 wide receiver. Now it's Mr. Cooper Kupp. And you know what rank he was? He was below Robert Woods per Fantasy Pros list. He was number 19 on the consensus. Okay? Number 19. Number 19 ended up being the number 1 wide receiver. So let's go ahead and count it out. Based on the list, they got 5 right. 5 right out of 12. That's terrible. That's below 50%. That's a deep F. Okay? So let's talk about the people that did make it in the top 12. Deebo Samuels. He was the number 2 wide receiver last year. Deebo Samuels, number 2 wide receiver. He was ranked number 42 on the draft rankings prior to the season, just before the season. Number 42 ended up the number 2 wide receiver. Jamar Chase ended up number 5. And he was ranked number 29. That's a wide receiver, what? 3? Almost a wide receiver 4? Okay? Because the wide receiver 2 tier ended at number 24. So he was a wide receiver 3. But he ended up Jamar Chase ended up as the wide receiver number 5 overall. Okay, who else made it? Mike Evans. He was the wide receiver number 20 on the draft rankings list. And he was number 8. Number 9 was Devante Johnson, and he was number 17 on the draft list. Mike Williams broke out last year because freaking stupid Phillip Rivers held him back. Remember, you got to watch these old quarterbacks that can't throw the ball deep, that these deep wide receivers, these game-breaking wide receivers actually have breakouts. Guess what? I got somebody in mind. Pay attention for later on this week. Mike Williams finished number 10, and he was number 47 on the draft rankings. Hunter Renfrow finished number 11 last year in half-point PPR, and he was number 81. 81! That's Terrell Owens' number. And he finished as the wide receiver 11 on the year. And they had him at wide receiver 81 on the Fantasy Pros list. It don't matter. I ain't just talking about I'm using the Fantasy Pros. I don't give a damn if you use fantasy footballers, freaking headliners, or whoever else's. They had him at 81, and he ended up being wide receiver number 11, half-point PPR. And DK Metcalf was finished out number 12. So again, mind you, they got 5 right out of 12 as far as being in the top 12. Now, this is 2021. I did 2020, and they went 6 out of 12. 6 out of 12. Okay? So I'm not going to bore you with those numbers, but people that didn't make the top 12 in 2020 where Michael Thomas gets select number 1 overall. Remember that? Had all them targets, all those slant boy targets. Guess what? He glassed out. They had last year, 2020, had Michael Thomas, Devante Adams, Julio Jones. List goes on. But they had Jefferson, finished number 6, and he was number 65. You're going to have these type of things. You just can't go by the freaking list. Stephon Diggs wasn't ranked number 26 in 2020. He was number 3 wide receiver on that year in 2020. All right? So just going to show you guys, 2020, they were 6 out of 12. In 2021, they were 5 out of 12. When you look at these lists, I'm going to put the list up for 2022 this season, right now. Okay, it was already established that just because the rankings, the wide receiver rankings are 1 through 12, and these are the top 12 wide receivers. The wide receiver one starting the draft process, according to Fantasy Pros, and not just Fantasy Pros, pretty much for the rest, for any other freaking platform out there either, reputable platform like Fantasy Football, and I'm about to show you that. Just because this is their list, guess what? Cooper Kupp at the top. We all know that, okay, right? Cooper Kupp. They're going to have him up there. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase at 3. 4, Stephon Diggs. 5, Devante Adams. 6, CeeDee Lamb. 7, Mike Evans. 8, Deebo Samuels. 9, Tyreek Hill. 10, Keenan Allen. 11, A.J. Brown. 12, T. Higgins. This is all half-point PPR, okay? Ladies and gentlemen. But based on my research, based on my level of common sense and how history, not me, I didn't make this up. History tells us that 5 to 6 of these players will not finish as a freaking wide receiver 1. They will not finish in the top 12 by hook or crook. That is the freaking case. So we have to determine who from Cooper Kupp down to T. Higgins. And mind you, T. Higgins is number 12 on Fantasy Pros to this date currently, which is July 11th, 2022. Number 13 is Michael Pittman, and 14, Deontay Johnson. Just to let you know. So 5 to 6 of these guys, maybe even 7, because we saw what happened last year, where 7 players didn't make it into the top 12 that they had us down. So let's just safely say 6. 5 to 6 of them will not be wide receiver 1s. So I'm going to help you guys decide which one of these, which of these players are safe, the safest to go back and be a wide receiver 1 to finish in the top 12, no matter what. From all the way down from Cooper Kupp to T. Higgins and whoever else they might put in here. All right? That's what I'm going to help you guys do. Now, I've already established and showed you that the list is like 50% dead ass wrong, okay? As cute as the list may look, it's going to be dead ass wrong. So I'm going to help you navigate that, all right? So, now mind you, this is Fantasy Pros list. Current to the date, July 11th, 2022. The Fantasy Footballers have Kupp at 1, Jefferson at 2, Devante Adams at 3, Chase at 4. I'm going to write it here. 1, Jefferson at 2. This is the Fantasy Footballers list. Chase at 4, Diggs at 5, Adams at 3, CeeDee Lamb at 7, Evans at 6, Deebo at 8, Tyreek at 10, Keenan Allen at 14, A.J. Brown, they don't have here, and T. Higgins at 11. Okay? So I just want to show you guys, this is Fantasy Pros list, half point PPR. And this is the fantasy footballers. 1-1, 2-2, 3, 4-4, 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. They're basically the same. It's the same list minus one player. Fantasy Pros has A.J. Brown in their top 12 at number 11. And Fantasy Footballers have DJ Moore at number 12. But basically, it's the same freaking list. That's why I want to show you guys. You know what I'm saying? Just one or two positions off. But I don't give a damn. The list is messed up, and I can look at it, and I can tell you 5 off the bat that I feel very comfortable will not end up being a wide receiver 1, a top 12 wide receiver overall. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We'll get into it on the next episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. I've shown you the past to help you out in the future. This is currently your list, present day, July 11, 2022, of the top 12 wide receivers. 5 to 6 of those will be bust and will not make it in the top 12. I'll help you find out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know who you think on this list will not make it, or who you think that's outside the list that will. Flawless Fantasy Football. We're dropping another episode tomorrow. Holla at your boy. Hit the comment.